700 miles ish on a rat dirt bike. So here we go on an adventure. God guide me, keep me safe. Amen. I had to figure out a butt pad because my butt was killing me. Just rode through Ocala National Forest and about to get back on the road. Alright, later. Perry, Florida, about 300 miles from home, and I got a flat. I'm gonna put some air in it, really stop, get some fix a flat just in case. Yeah, updates later. Well, it's not going so well. So blatant stealth camping at a rest area. Not very stealthy, but nobody messed with me. I got a couple hours of sleep. I had to get on the interstate, which is not good. Headlight stopped working, so I had to stop at a Dollar General and improvise. The ground was kind of wet. I probably stopped too many times for gas because I don't know how many gallons this tank actually holds, and so it took forever to get here. And lastly, rear brake caliper decided to take a hike. So I have no rear brake on windy Alabama back roads. Yeah, so that's how it's going. I'm 600, almost 700 miles away from home, and no back brake and no headlight. Well, I don't know what to do. So, I have to be at court at 9 a.m. about 2 hours from here. So, daybreak, I'm gonna head that way. Maybe just before. But yeah, that's how it's going. Later. Campsite number 2. We got protection, some reading material, can't figure out what's wrong with the headlight. So I got this spotlight. It's supposed to be 1,000 lumens. Hopefully it'll get me home. I don't know. That bungee before I go to bed. I'll wrap it around, attach it somewhere. Bike's still running good. I'm asking this little guy to do a lot more than what it's supposed to. On my vest, my kids made me those patches. Some Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon patches. And then before I go to bed, that one will be wrapped around. I'll be pretty much enclosed. I don't know if it's going to rain, but this is going to get cold. Also, twisty mountain roads with ups and downs and no rear brake. Talk about sketchy. But we're going to call it character building. So I'm going to eat my no heat ravioli. Yep, I'm going to eat it straight from the can. I don't know why everybody wants to heat it up, because you don't have to. And got my breakfast in the morning. I do have to figure out something with the seat, because honestly I had to stop every hour just to stand up, because my ass was hurting bad. bad. So I'll figure out something with the seat in the morning. There's other people at this campground, so I'm not gonna crank the little Walking Dead monster. We need to name this bike. What are we gonna call it? How about the Dung Beetle? Because it's a pile of Never mind. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. Leave it down in the comments. What do you think I should name this little thing? You know, it used to be a dirt bike, and I welded that up, threw it on there. So this part is from a lawn chair, like a camp chair. My big back self sat in it and kind of folded over. So I cut out the bar, and then this part, the top piece, the sissy bar, that's from a little girl's Schwinn bicycle. So, but I welded those two together. Kind of bubblegum weld. They do not like stick weld, but it's holding pretty good. And the cool thing about it is, so the pipes just slid on there, right there. It comes to about here-ish, I guess. So I was thinking about making another one more cafe racer style, and then I could just switch them on and off. This one for traveling, and the other one for goofing off. So, not bad for a little Chinese dirt bike. Brought me 700 miles and then 100 or so miles back the other way. Other than the headlight and rear brake. So, but I'm almost 300 pounds plus my bag, and I had all kinds of food in there that I probably shouldn't have brought, like, you know, a gallon of tea. So I had 2 of those. So yeah, I'm asking it to do a lot more. So after this, I'll show you some pictures and videos I took around the campsite. If you guys are ever in northern Alabama, you should definitely check out Bankhead Forest, because this place is beautiful. Look at that. Just one thing to know though, there is absolutely zero cell service. I walked up about a mile up the mountain trying to get signal to let my kids know that I'm okay, and no signal whatsoever. So that's the only downside. Alright, well, that's it. Later. So, last night's sleep, rest area off I-10. Can't really see anything, but threw my tarp over a picnic table. Went to sleep under it. So, I tried to make it home. It was just too dark. Then I pulled into this one place and slid out because I don't have a back brake, and slid out on a bunch of rocks and went down and picked the bike up, pushed it over to the side of the building, and I realized it was some kind of school place, but I was gonna go ahead and stay there. I threw the tarp over the bike and I laid down under the tarp, but people kept pulling up, headlights shining right on me. So I looked up, rest area. This place was like 15 minutes away. So I jumped on the interstate with a bike that's not supposed to be on the interstate. But the no headlight and no back brake, and the last gas stop, I found out that my tag fell off. So that's a thing. This trip is total BS. But I'm alive, safe, and I got about 3 hours of riding to do to get home. So I'll update when I get home. All packed up, ready to roll. This stupid thing. Keep smelling that burning. I lost my knife at some point too, so. But all packed up, ready to go. Headlight situation, totally ridiculous. I think it actually works really well. I'm surprised by that thing. Cheap Amazon thing. Hey, I'm blessed. I'm riding around on a motorcycle, doing some cool stuff. So, alright, y'all stay safe. And thank God that I'm still alive on this thing. Amen. So, made it home safe. I kind of started already working on things. I forgot that I didn't add it to the video. So, I don't know if I said it in the video. I doubt it, because I really didn't realize until I got home. But the exhaust, one of the exhaust nuts fell out, and the other one was about halfway out. So the exhaust was just kind of hanging there by one bolt, that bolt. So I added a couple washers, including a lock washer on that one. But look at the color, man. So the closer I got to home, the heavier my hand got. And pretty much once I realized that I was close enough to where something went wrong, I might possibly find somebody to pick me up, I full throttled it. So full throttle, this thing will hit 70 with the 42.2 sprocket, and I think it's a 13 up front. It will hit 70, and I'm almost 300 pounds. So with a lighter rider, there's really no telling what you can hit. So the issue with the seat, after thinking about it, I realized I was sitting on top of the battery, and that's what was hurting so bad, because I'd move forward, then move back on top of the battery, and then I'd scoot back here. See my bubblegum welds? We'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, I'd move back here until my butt got hot because of the exhaust. My butt would get hot, so I'd scoot back to the battery and then scoot up front. Well, I didn't realize that you could easily bend that. So I bent it and kind of kicked the battery to where it's flat. Now, this is, I guess I probably would have thought about it if I wasn't so exhausted, but I was just kind of out of it, and I wasn't really thinking fully. I was just thinking, get home, get to my daughter's, and get some sleep, you know. But I went to Tractor Supply, and I had this thing. This is one of those things that you kneel down on, and it's nice and squishy. If that battery wasn't there, this would have made a pretty good seat. So what I did was I put this one here, right, and then I kind of strapped that down, and that's what I was sitting on. It was wiggly, especially at 60 miles an hour. So kind of sucked. Especially I didn't realize I was sitting on that battery. This is the seat that I just didn't have time to put on it. Wider, a lot more comfortable. So that'll be going on it today. So strangely enough, well, not strangely enough, if you can see those welds. So these metals don't like each other. No matter what I did, no matter how soft I went, no matter what rod I used, these metals don't like each other. Honestly, I don't have a clue what kind of metals they were. I can weld, and I don't think my welds have ever, even in training, looked that bad. That's horrid. So that will be, something's gonna happen back here. I haven't quite decided. I mean, that's kind of goofy and ridiculous. Also, my tag fell off. So talk to an officer and I'll be able to get a new one and stuff. I did get pulled over somewhere here in Florida. I don't really know the town, but it was a cute little town with a nice little grooved bridge. Yes, grooves. I did not experience a wobble, but knobbies and grooved road don't like each other. It tried locking me into the grooves on that bridge. So I completely understand how Doodle went down. Experiencing that for the first time was a bit scary, especially being exhausted and tired from, about 1,300 miles of riding on this thing, and sleeping on the ground for about 3 days. So I was exhausted and it freaked me out, man. I did remember what Doodle said in that video. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Doodle on a motorcycle. She's pretty awesome. I like her videos. I just realized how close that is that I'll be changing that fender anyway. But Doodle on a motorcycle, she was riding a certain brand of motorcycle that is actually not much different from that engine right there. It's a Chinese motorcycle built in America, but it's more of an old school 1940s-ish style bike, and with 1940s-ish style bicycle grooved style tires, and she went down. She had a death wobble. But if you want to know more about that, just watch her video, not mine. Okay, so bubblegum welds, did they hold? No. When I took my bag off of this thing, the bar went with it. So I'll be cutting all of this goofy stuff off and then putting that underneath the seat, cleaning it all up. I've got a better tail light. I got a better tail light and tag holder that'll be going on there. But will this thing fire up after all that work? Because I put a Chinese 250 through more hardship than these little bikes would ever see, especially here in America. So how did I do? Oh yeah, before I do that, I still don't know what's wrong with this headlight. No clue. There's only one fuse on this bike and it's under the seat, and if that fuse goes out, there's no electrical whatsoever. So it's not the fuse. It's got to be this light or something. That thing, when that went out, that was the most terrifying ride I've ever had. But I asked Jesus to be my guiding light, and he guided me to that rest stop. I threw the tarp over the bike and I got a few hours of sleep. So just don't forget, when you're in a hard situation, he's already there to help you out. You just gotta ask. Alright, so will this thing start? Alright, and I still gotta figure out where I'm putting my ignition. I don't have a clue yet, but anyway, we are in neutral. With this Chinese bike, you gotta hold the front brake in, and there we go. So, is it capable of a 1,300 mile round trip? Yeah. A little bit of off-roading. Should you do it? At your own risk, my friend. At your own risk. But I'd say it did it pretty well considering what it is. Would I do it again? Turn her off. Would I do it again? On this thing? If I had to. With that new seat, not sitting on a battery, yeah, if I had to. Would I do it on purpose? No. In fact, I have to do another trip to the same place, and I'll be filming that too, but I'll be a much more capable motorcycle. I think it's a V-Star 1100, so far more capable, far more comfortable. It's my friend's bike. She's gonna let me borrow it. I didn't ride it yet, but I did sit on it, and honestly, it felt like a couch with handlebars. So she's got a new custom seat and a nice cowl on it. Pretty good looking bike. But yeah, so I do have to make the trip one more time, the same trip. Some court stuff. I'm not gonna bore you with it, but I'll be doing that trip on a lot more capable bike. Probably some better filming too. I think I'm gonna use a different phone and order one of those chest mounts. So, but that's it as far as the bike goes. If you stick around, I'm gonna kind of talk about the trip and a couple people I met. All right, so is the Chinese 250 capable? Yeah, I guess. It was terrifying. I'm exhausted. I'm still sore. I plan on getting a bigger bike, but for right now, this is what I got. But yeah, it was capable. It handled it, and I honestly didn't have a lot of faith in the bike, but I had a lot of faith in the Lord, so one canceled the other out. So let's talk about the trip. All right, so starting off going through Ocala National Forest, it was misty, dark. I left about 5 o'clock in the morning. Misty and dark. Pretty crazy. I've never ridden in that kind of situation. Honestly, I've never ridden motorcycles much. This is my first bike, and I've had it less than a year, and I never took it out of my town. So well, so the first few hours going through Ocala National Forest were misty, sucked. Got through Ocala, got through on my way to Alabama, got to somewhere in Alabama, kind of close to where I needed to be, and I noticed people were flashing their lights at me, so I went to flash mine, saying, you know, I don't have my brights on, and I realized nothing happened. So I didn't even realize how dark it was, and I put my hand in front of the light, and it was not on. So I pulled over at this gas station, and trying to figure out what's wrong with it. I didn't have another light on me. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and this gentleman in a pickup truck pulls up, and he had this little tiny light from like Dollar General, and he gave me that, and I was able to make it to a Dollar General, and I bought that camp light, emergency light thing, thinking it would be enough. Well, together with those two lights, it was enough for people to see me, but not for me to see them. Not enough for me to see the road at all. Then the batteries died on that thing, and I was left with the little tiny light that the gentleman gave me. And I knew I needed to get somewhere to sleep because it was dark. I didn't really know how close I was to the place that I needed to be. Court was at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I looked up rest area, and I made my way over the mountain and through the woods. For about 2.5 hours, it was pitch black dark. Like I said, that little light was not enough for me to see. It was just enough for people to see me. Luckily, I didn't see anyone through the woods, which North Alabama, you're not going to see anyone. If you're wondering about the area I was in, it's called Bankhead Forest. There's some paved roads, some not paved roads. When it's that dark, you're looking for the non-paved, but unfortunately I was on the paved. That's because the moon kind of shines on the dirt and helps you see a little bit there. It's mainly red clay, which helps brighten it up a little bit. I prayed. I asked the Lord, be my guiding light, and I was following. So out there's not that white line on the side of the road. I was following the lighter colored gravel on the side of the road. So I get to the rest area, I throw the tarp on the bike, and I go to sleep, take a nap, and I get up, daylight, started riding back. Started riding to the courthouse, right? And get to court. Court goes. Could have went better, but it went pretty good. I do have to go back, unfortunately, but not as quick as what I thought. I was gonna have to go back tomorrow, actually, on Monday, but I don't have to go back as quick. Waiting on paperwork in the mail. Anyway, so I had a friend send me a little bit of money because I way underestimated how much money I would need. I stopped at Walmart and bought a spotlight, 1,000 lumen spotlight. Kept it off until it got dark. When it got dark, I turned it on, and those batteries lasted about 20 minutes at a time. I bought a pack of batteries, and I was just like, I gotta get home. And those batteries didn't last long. Wow, I missed a whole bunch there. So after court, I went to Brushy Lake Campground. Absolutely beautiful. There, I met a woman named Cindy. She was older, 60s, maybe 70s. 100% van lifer. She lives in her van. Had a really cool van that she turned into like a camper. She lives there with her 2 cats. Her name's Cindy. I asked her if she had a YouTube. She said she was thinking about starting it, but she was uncomfortable about her teeth. I told her, don't read the comments, because the comments are always mean. If you think it's going to affect you, don't read them. People have issues, but her personality was absolutely beautiful. We had some talks. I explained to her that I'm a Christian. I was saved about a year ago, a little over a year ago. So we had some talks, and her van's name was Dreamweaver. So unfortunately, I didn't get her phone number or anything like that. So she's a random person I met on the road. All right, so the next morning, pack up, say goodbye to Cindy, and I'm heading home. It's pretty nice, pretty weather most of the way. I stop at this random gas station in southern Alabama. This gentleman with long dreadlocks, long, thick, natural dreadlocks, pulls up on one of the coolest Harleys I've ever seen. Looked like it was built by a blacksmith or something. So it was a panhead, and it was bare metal, but with golden trim. And I didn't film it. I didn't get a picture. I'm sorry, but mainly because he caught me off guard. You see my bike, right? And he walks up to me and asks me what kind of oil goes in his gorgeous panhead chopper. I told him, honestly, I run Rotella and everything. So, I know. Yeah, I was honest with him, but I was so caught off guard by that. So, I'm on my way home. Almost home. A few hours from home. And it's dark. The batteries are dying on the spotlight, so I figured it's best to pull over. Stop riding in the dark. So I pulled over, or was gonna pull over at what I thought was a church, and not having a back brake, I was slowing down with my front brake, and I thought it was pavement, but it was loose black rock. And I went down hard. Turned the bike off, picked it up, and looked around. There's nobody around, but there's an RV right there next to the building. And I was just like, well, if they're in there, they heard me rag, I'm gonna ask them if I can stay here the night. Nobody came out. So I pushed my bike to the side of the building. I'll show you in the video. Pushed my bike to the side, threw the tarp over it, and I was just like, well, I'm gonna sleep here tonight. That is illegal. That's trespassing. I know it's trespassing. So it's not a public building, it's a private company. So it was not a church. If it was a church, I would have felt way more comfortable, but it was not a church. It was some kind of thing for a school consultant. But I did try to sleep there anyway. I threw the tarp over the bike, and I laid down under the tarp, and then a car pulls up. And I was like, oh, this is it. Right? Car goes away. Another car pulls up. Oh, there it is. Nope, car pulls away. Then another car pulls up and points their headlights directly at me. And I was like, yep, that's the police. One of the other cars must have called them. Then they drove away. By then, I was just like, I gotta get out of here. So I searched the closest rest stop, and it was 15 minutes away. Well, on a bike with no back brake and no headlight, 15 minutes is a long 15 minutes. So I changed the batteries in the spotlight again, and then I turned on the little light that the guy gave me, just in case. Make it to the rest area off of I-10, which that bike should not be on I-10. Every time a semi truck got behind me, I was like, I'm gonna get squished. So that bike does not belong on I-10. But I got to the rest area, pulled over, and then as I was pulling in, security guards walking up, and I was like, excuse me, sir, are you security? And he said, yeah. And I was like, do you mind if I park here for the night and throw a tarp up and sleep under it? He was like, nope, but you can take your tarp over to that picnic table and sleep under that, and a little bit more comfortable, and it's dark over there. So I thanked him, shook his hand, got some sleep. Next morning I got up, daylight, made it home. Now, that's a lot of time to think.
a lot of time to panic, and a lot of time to spend time with the Lord. And there's absolutely no way outside of being under the protection of God that I made it home. All the things that went wrong, everything that could have went wrong, the fact that I made it home to my kids is a blessing. I owe it 100% to Jesus. So, in the words of Kelly Kay, think about that for a minute.